Hello everyone, this is Danny from creatingawebstore.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a blog with WordPress. This is actually a step-by-step tutorial that will show you everything you need to know. I'm basically going to show you how to install a theme. Notice that I have a custom theme up on this site, but you can actually use any theme that you'd like, so you don't have to use this one, but if you do plan on using this one, I'll show you how to install it. I'm also going to be showing you how to create blog posts, and how to create categories, tags, how to enable search engine friendly URLs, such as these right here. In addition to that, I'm going to be showing you how to create static pages. For example, static pages are pages that do not contain time-sensitive information. So for those, we would use it for our About Us page or any other type of information that does not have an expiration on them. For example, I'm also going to be showing you how to create a privacy page and how to add images, how to stylize text, how to add links to your posts. So basically, I'm going to be showing you a lot. So to start, what we need to do is we need to install WordPress. Note that if you do not want to install WordPress manually, you can always choose a web host that offers one-click WordPress installations. In some cases, your current web host might even offer them, so you might want to look into that. If not, I actually have a list of web hosts that offer one-click WordPress installations, and the link to that page is in the description of this video. So to start installing WordPress manually, simply go to wordpress.org and download the latest version of WordPress. And download the latest version here. Next, you will need to install an FTP client. If you already have your own FTP client, you can simply use that. If not, you can go to filezilla-project.org to download a free FTP client. Then simply download your version and install FileZilla. Once you have installed FileZilla, simply open up the client. Then simply enter in your host. In my case, it's iSavePlaza.com. In your case, it might be an FTP URL. You will want to look into that prior to entering in the host. For the username and password, you likely created this information while setting up your account with your web host. If you haven't, your web host might have created this information for you automatically, and they may have sent that information to you via email. Once you have that information, simply enter in the information. And then click on Quick Connect. Now you will need to unarchive the downloaded WordPress file. Note that if you are using cPanel, you might as well install WordPress through the cPanel interface simply by clicking on the upload icon here and uploading the file in the archived format and then unarchiving once the file has been uploaded. That is actually better because it preserves folder permissions, but if you do not have cPanel, simply proceed with FileZilla by simply unarchiving WordPress. Once you have unarchived WordPress, simply go into FileZilla and locate the file. In my case, it's in Downloads, which is right here. And now I will simply look at my remote site and locate the folder which serves my site's files. In my case, it's public_HTML. In your case, it might be www or something else. You will want to look into that prior to uploading WordPress. And simply select that directory which serves your site's files. And then select your WordPress directory, which is located on your local computer. Note that if you upload this folder as is, people visiting your site will actually have to access your WordPress site by going to your domain /WordPress. Now, if you want your visitors to see your WordPress site the minute they go to your domain, you actually have to upload the files and folders from within the WordPress folder. So simply double-click on the WordPress folder, and then you will see the folders from within that folder and the files from within that folder right here in this other window. So simply select all of these files and folders, right-click, and then left-click on Upload. And these files and folders are currently being transferred to the folder which serves your site's files, which is in my case public_HTML. While these files and folders upload, let's create our database. In my case, I will do this in cPanel. This of course depends on your server or your web host. So you will need to figure out how to create a database first. If you have cPanel, simply follow these steps. Then simply click on MySQL Database Wizard. Then simply enter in a database name, which in my case will be WordPress. Click Next. And here I will enter in WordPress once more. For the username, you can enter in a different username if you'd like. You can actually enter in any information that you'd like. For password, I will enter in my password. And I will click on Create User. And I will choose All Privileges. And now my database has been created, and my user has been created and added to that database. So now I will make sure to remember this information so I can enter it into the WordPress config file. So now you will want to go to the URL that you installed WordPress in, and you will want to enter the URL into your address bar and simply visit that site. Note that if you uploaded WordPress to a subfolder, you will want to go to your domain / that subfolder. For example, if the subfolder is WordPress, you would want to go to your domain / WordPress. And here on the installation wizard, you will get an error. It will tell you that a wp-config.php file is missing. So we need to create it. To create the file, simply click on Create a Configuration File. Note that you can even edit the wp-config-sample.php file manually and enter in this information, but it's actually easier to use the wizard. So let's use the wizard. So now you will need to have that database name, the database username, the database password, and the database host ready. We actually created the database name, username, and password earlier. So simply click on Let's Go. For database name, my name is actually isave_WordPress, and username is the same. And my password. And now for database host, I will enter in localhost. If you are using a host that is different from localhost, you will want to use that. So please look into it prior to entering in a database host. As for table prefix, you can use this table prefix or another. If you already have a WordPress installed in the same database, you will want to use a different prefix. And then simply click on Submit. And as you can see, if you entered all your information correctly, everything is fine. WordPress can communicate with your database. So simply click on the Run the Install button. Here simply enter in a site title. In my case, it will be my domain name. For username, I will enter in a username. This is for your admin panel. And your email. And privacy, you will need to decide on whether you want to allow search engines to index your site. I won't, because this is a demo site. If yours is a live site, you'll want to check off this box. And then simply click on Install WordPress. And now simply log in. And my login has been successful, and now we will test to see whether we can upload images. First, let's look at our home page, and as you can see, I have the typical Hello World blog post. So I simply go to Posts, and I edit this post, and I try to upload an image. And as you can see, the image uploaded successfully. Now, if your image didn't upload successfully, simply go to where your WordPress installation is located. I will use cPanel so that you can see better what I'm doing. So as you can see, all my directories have 755 permissions. You will want to make sure that every single directory has 755 permissions. This includes all subdirectories as well. And you can do this in FileZilla by simply going to FileZilla and then locating your WordPress installation, and then simply right-clicking on each folder and left-clicking on File Permissions, and simply change the numeric value to 755 and click OK. And if that doesn't work, try changing the permissions to 777. While WordPress doesn't recommend it, That's the only other way that I can think of solving the problem. So once you have WordPress installed, to change the theme, simply go to Appearances here and left click on Themes. To add a new theme, simply click on the Add New button. To add an existing theme, simply look at the theme that you want to activate and then click on the Activate button. In this video, we're actually going to be installing a new theme, so we will click on Add New. Here, if you have a theme that you've downloaded, you're going to want to click on Upload Theme and then simply choose the file from your computer and then click on Install. However, if you want to install a theme that already exists on WordPress.org, you can look at some of the featured ones here, or the popular or latest ones. Or you can actually type in what you're looking for and see if it exists. In this case, I will be installing the Formation theme, which is the theme that I have on my demo site that I showed you. So I will simply type in Formation. And this is that theme, and I will left click on Install. And now I will click on Activate to activate the theme. And now I will customize the theme, and I can do this by left clicking on the Customize button here or by left clicking over here. Here we're going to set up our theme. Note that a lot of these options depend on the theme that you install. For example, the positioning of the sidebars and the left footer column, etc. This depends on the theme. A header image, this also depends on the theme. Background image, logo, it all depends on which theme you're installing. Now, if you're installing the theme that I have here, you'll have all these options. If not, you might have different ones. You might even have more options than this. Now, I'm not going to go into all of this right now. I'm only going to show you how to upload a logo and how to set up social media settings. And later on in the video, I'm going to show you how to go deeper into this. So for your site title here, you simply enter in the name of your site. For the tagline, this is basically a brief description of your site, what exactly you're offering, what exactly this site is about. For example, the tagline that I set up was Fashion First. So I will enter it in here. As for logo, I have a logo. Again, my theme supports this. Your theme might not. So once you have located your logo, simply select it and upload. And as you can see, WordPress actually shows us how all of this looks in real time. As for social media settings, if you have this theme installed, you'll have this. If not, yours might look a little different, or you might not have social media settings at all. So simply expand here and enter in the URL of your pages. For example, you would just go to your Facebook page, and you would copy the full URL and just paste it here. As for colors, this is basically the header text color and the background color. Since the header is right now hidden, you can't really see it. And for the background, you can change it if you'd like. You would basically just select the color and then choose the color that you want. And that would basically take effect. If you ever want to go back to the default color, you simply click on the default button here. As for header image, this is where you would upload a header image. As you can see, the recommended size is 2000 pixels by 500 pixels. So if you'd like to upload a header image, you can. You simply just create one and then upload one. So I click on Add New Image and I go to Upload Files here. And I simply select the file, and this right here is the header image that I created earlier. So after uploading your image, here you can enter in a title. For example, this can be your tagline or your site name or whatever you'd like it to be. For example, I'll just enter in Fashion First. And here you can enter in a caption and an alt text if you'd like. For example, an alt text is an alternative text to the title, basically something that describes the image. And the description, you can enter in a description as well. And then you select and crop. And here, if you'd like to crop the image, you can in real time. If not, simply click on skip cropping. And now, as you can see, our image has been set. If you'd like to upload a background image, you can. If not, you don't have to. As for contact details here, you can enter in contact details if you'd like. Again, this is what this theme offers. Many themes don't have contact detail fields. So this is again up to you if you'd like to enter in information here. If not, you can always leave it empty like so. And when finished, simply click on Save and Publish, and then simply close. As for settings, we can change our settings here. These are general settings. This is the site title, the tagline. This is your WordPress address URL. For example, if you want it to show up as www dot, you would just enter in www dot like so. If not, you can leave out the www. As for email address, this is where you can change your email address. As for membership, you can choose whether anyone can register. As for new user default role, you can choose whether they're a subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator, etc. As for your time zone, you can change it here as well. Time format as well. When finished, simply click on Save Changes. As you can see, since I've added the www dot, now I have to log in again because my URL has changed. So I will go back to settings, and now I'll go to writing here. And this is your formatting. Here, if you uncheck this, smiley faces will remain like this as they are typed in. If you click here, you will have the actual image of the smiley face. Whether you'd like WordPress to automatically correct invalid nested XHTML, default post category. Right now we only have one category, and that's the category that WordPress created for us, so we'll just leave it on this. If you'd like to change it later on after adding some categories, you just come back to this page and you change it here. As for default post format, you can choose a default post format. I'll just leave it on standard. And these settings are a little more advanced. This is basically if you want to be able to upload posts to your WordPress via email. I'm actually not going to go into this because this is a little more advanced. When finished, simply click on Save Changes here. As for reading, this right here is how you'd like the front page to display. You can also change this in appearance and customize. For example, if you want a static page for your home page, you simply select it here and then choose that static front page. As for posts, you can choose the static post page. I will show you how to add a static page later on. As for blog pages show at most, this is how many blog pages you want to show on your site when multiple blog pages are shown in a category. As for syndication feed, this is how many posts you'd like to show in your RSS feed. Whether you'd like to show 10 or more or 5, or you can enter in any number here. And for each article in the feed, do you want it to show up as full text or summary? For example, if you choose full text, it will show the entire article. With a summary, it will show a snippet. And for search engine visibility, if you want your site indexed by search engines, you're going to want to leave this box unchecked. In my case, since this is a demo site, I have it checked off. So when finished, simply click on Save Changes. Next, we will go to discussion here. Here, this is all pretty much self-explanatory, so I will only go over the basics and the more important parts. For example, do you want to allow link notifications from other blogs? If you do not want to, simply uncheck. Do you want to allow people to post comments on your blog posts? If you want them to, you just leave this check. Note that you can always change these settings on individual blog posts and pages. Do you want people leaving comments to register prior to leaving them? Do you want to manually approve comments? This is actually very important because you might get a lot of spam. So you might want to check this off so that you can manually approve the comments on the site. When finished, simply click on Save Changes. Simply go to Media. Here you can choose the thumbnail size. For example, do you want it at 150 by 150? If you want a larger image, you can change that here. You can also change the medium size and the large size as well. As for the thumbnail, do you want it to be cropped to exact dimensions? Normally thumbnails are proportional. So I will just leave this checked off. Organize my uploads into month and year-based folders. As for permalinks, these are the links that make your site search engine friendly. So for example, here you can choose a post format. For example, I'll choose the day and name here. You can choose anything you like. For example, if you just want the year and the month to show, you can choose this. And if you want just the name of the post to show up, you can choose this as well. For example, on my demo site here, I have it as so. As you can see, I have the date and then I have the name of the post in the URL. So if you want to add a category base or tag base, you can. This will basically separate your categories by a certain name. For example, if you type in topics, it will show up as topics and then the category name. I will just leave this blank and I'll click on Save Changes. Next, we'll create some static pages. For example, these are pages that are not time sensitive. So we'll create our About Us page and our privacy page. So simply go to Pages here and click on Add New. And here, simply type in the name of the page. In this case, it will be About Us. And here you can simply enter in your text. If you have it on visual, you can use the HTML editor here. Note that for the permalink, you can actually change the name of the URL right here. For example, like I showed you in my example, it's this. Personally, I'd recommend leaving it as is. If not, you should basically use lowercase letters and numbers, dashes only, and basically keep it simple. So here I'll simply enter in my text. Now if you want to add an image, simply click on where you want to add the image. And then click on Add Media. And then simply go on Upload Files. And simply select your file. In my case, it will be this image here. And now again, you can choose certain settings here. For example, you can change the title. You can add a caption, alt text, description, etc. Alignment, you can always change this later on in the HTML editor as well. Link to media. And now you simply click on Insert into Page. So now what I'll do is I'll edit this image. For example, let's first align it to the left by simply clicking on the pencil icon here to edit it. And I'll simply click on Align Left, and I'll click on Update, and now my image has been aligned to the left. Now I'll click on the pencil icon once more, and I'll edit the original. And here you can basically flip the image. You can also flip it upside down. You can also rotate. And you can even crop. For example, to crop, simply hold down the left mouse button and drag to where you want the image to be cropped. And then simply click on the crop icon here. And then click on Save. And then click on Replace. And then click on Replace once more. And now your image has been cropped. And now we have to align once more. So we simply click on Align Left and Update. And now the image has been cropped and aligned. And now when you are finished, you will make sure that visibility is public. For example, if you do not want a post to show up on your site, you simply change this to private or password protected. And then if you want it public, as I do, you simply click on Publish here. And now you can preview the page. And this is how our About Us page looks. And now we can create our privacy page. And this one I'll just leave it as is, and I'll publish. And now we can view all our pages here. And now this is the sample page that WordPress created for us automatically. We can actually move this to the trash can to delete it. And then we can permanently delete it by going to the trash can here and simply clicking on delete permanent. Now if you'd like to remove comments from your About Us page and from your privacy page, simply select here. For example, this is the comments box. To get rid of it, simply go to bulk actions, edit, and click on apply. And then where it says comments, simply go to do not allow and then click on update. Now if you want to individually disable or enable comments, simply select the one that you want to enable or disable comments for. Go to edit, apply, and then again simply change. So now we are finally ready to add some posts and some categories. So simply go to posts and categories first. And here we'll add our categories. As you can see, we have an uncategorized category. This is the category that WordPress created for us. We actually can't delete this category, but we can edit it by going to edit here. And here what I'll do is I'll enter in Fashion Week. You can of course enter in the name of your choice. And for slug, I'll just leave this empty so that it changes to Fashion Week. If I would have left it as is, it would have shown up as uncategorized. And since we do not have any other categories, we cannot set a parent. And for description, you can enter in a description if you'd like. If not, simply leave it as is and click on update. We can add some other categories. For example, I'll add women's fashion. And I'll click on add new category. And now to add a subcategory, I would just enter in my subcategory name. And here for parent, I'll just choose women's fashion. And I'll enter in another subcategory. And note that if you choose women's fashion once more, it will again be a subcategory of women's fashion. Of course, you can also enter in a subcategory of a subcategory by simply selecting that subcategory. But I'll just leave it on women's fashion here. And now I'll enter in men's fashion. And this one I want to be in a category of its own, so I'll just choose none. And I'll click on add category. And now we can add some posts. First, see a list of our current posts. Simply go to all posts. And here we have the Hello World post. This is the default post that WordPress installs. We can of course delete this. And now we can add a new post by simply clicking on add new post. Here I'll simply enter in a title. And here I'll add an image. What you can actually do is you can actually upload all your images at once if you'd like, by simply selecting all of the images that you'd like to upload. Like so. Images have finished uploading, but as you can see, all of them are checked off, which means if I were to click on insert into post, all of these images would actually get inserted into the post. Instead, what I'll do is I'll clear and I'll simply select one image and I'll click on insert into post. And now what I'll do is I'll type in some text. And what I can do is I can set this as a heading by simply clicking here and choosing the heading like so. And now I can enter in text below that like so. And what I can do is I can enter in another image over here. Like so. And here what I can do is I can create another heading. Like so. and I can again choose a heading format. And now what I can do is I can align this image to the left, like so. And I can also align this image to the left, like so. And what I can do is I can actually change the text color if I'd like by simply clicking here and choosing the color. And if I'd like to add a link, I can do so like so by simply highlighting the text and then simply clicking on the link icon here, and then simply entering in my link and the title and whether I want the link to open up in a new tab or window or not. And then I simply click on add link. For example, I can add it like this. Now we can actually choose a category like so, and a subcategory. And if you'd like to add tags, you can. For example, tags aren't as broad as categories. Say you have a bunch of articles on purple dresses, you can actually type in purple dresses for this article and then purple dresses for another article, and those can be grouped together with tags. If you'd like, you can add a featured image like this. And when finished, simply click on Publish. And now we can view our post. And this is how it looks. And as you can see, our featured image is up here. And we are right now in summer styles and women's fashion. And later I'll show you how you can actually change the format of these categories as well. So now I'll add another blog post on purple dresses so that I can show you how those tags work. And this one will be in women's fashion must-haves. And I'll simply type in purple dresses here. And as you can see, my tag showed up, so I'll just select it. And now I'll set a featured image again. Note that you can choose any featured image. As you can see, I don't really have any type of system here because, I'm working on a demo site, so I don't really care exactly which images I'm adding. Obviously, when you're adding a real blog post, you'll want to add a related image from the blog post, but since I don't have too many demo images, I have to work with what I have. So I'll click on Publish. Now I'll add a few more blog posts just to make it interesting. And here I'll choose men's fashion, and I'll set a featured image. And here I'll choose not to add a tag, and I'll publish. And now we can view all our blog posts here. And if you ever decide to add tags or change tags, you can do so in bulk by simply selecting all of the blog posts here and going to edit and apply. And now what you can do is you can add tags. For example, I can add purple since my glasses are also purple. And I'll just leave it as so. And I just added purple as well to organize our site. But before we do so, let's look at the finished product so far. As you can see, it's starting to look pretty good. All we need to do now is add our privacy page and add our About Us page. As you can see, we have it up here in the header, but I actually want to move the privacy from here and place it down in the footer. So let's go back here and let's go to Appearance and Menus. What you can do is you can actually create menus for each section that's on your theme right here. For example, you can create a menu for this section, you can create a menu for this section, and you can create menus for these sections right here. So what I'll do is I'll keep the existing menu, which is menu 1, and I'll simply remove the privacy from here because I want to move it to the footer. And now what I'll do is I'll create menu to save. And now I'll create a new menu by simply clicking this link right here. And I'll call this footer left. And I'll click on create menu. And here I'll simply check off privacy and I'll add it to the menu. And I'll click on save menu. And now what I'll do is I'll add this menu to my theme. So I will go back to customize here. And now here what I do is I go to navigation and I simply select my menu, which is menu 1. And I'll save and publish just so that I can show you what it looks like. And as you can see, it has changed. And now for the footer, I'll simply go to left footer column here. And I'll simply click on add widget. And I'll simply click on custom menu here. And now I'll simply select the custom menu, which is footer left. And I'll click on save and publish. And now when I refresh, you will see my privacy page down here. Of course, I can always add other menus as well, or other widgets. For example, right here for Footer Center, what I can do is I can add a calendar if I'd like. And it would look like this. And for Footer Right, I can add an RSS feed like so, and simply enter in my RSS feed URL. And I can choose how many items I'd like to display in here. And I'll click on save and publish. And as you can see, I have links from my RSS feed to my articles. Now I can change the way categories are displayed. For example, I can go right here to my primary sidebar. And what I can do is I can change the way the categories are displayed. And I can also have post counts shown if I'd like by clicking like so. And I'll save and publish. Categories are grouped under the main category, and I even have counts. And if you'd like to remove any of these boxes at any time, simply select the one that you'd like to remove and click on remove. For example, let me remove this archives box. Let me remove this recent comments box. And let me click on save and publish. And now those have been removed. And now if you'd like to change the front page of your blog to a static page, what you can do, you can go here to static front page and you simply select a static page and you select the page. For example, since I only have 2 pages, I can only choose from one of these. If you'd like to make a specific page for your home page, simply create it and then choose it here. For example, I'll choose the About Us page just for demonstration purposes. And as you can see, now my front page has changed to my About Us page. So to change it back, I simply go to your latest posts and I click on save and publish. We can look at the finished product. Here is our site. And here are our categories. And our tags. And now if we go to an individual blog post, we will also see the tags in the blog post here. Note that if you do not want this image, you do not have to add a featured image. And note that this featured image might be displayed in a different way, in a different theme. So this, of course, all depends on the theme and what you prefer. Other than that, I think we're done and I think it all looks great. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and also be sure to check out creatingawebstore.com.